Alright, I've returned. I don't imagine this to be a super long section of the stream, but we'll see how long I can read without sniffling into the mic constantly. As stated, I'm feeling sick, so I said it in the first half, but if you're like, oh, you know, I'm sure there are people watching Umineko streams series here on the channel who maybe didn't catch me saying in the hex earlier that I am sick and sick sounding. So why did my OBS pop up like that all of a sudden? Did you see that? I don't know if that came. I would imagine that came across on the recording. I had OBS just like flash for a second. Strange. Curious. Strange. Curious. Alright, so Umineko part 10, I believe. I think it was in the last part where things, to say the least, I feel started to go off the rail. People dying. Multiple people dying. Maria becoming insane, apparently. That's a thing. Like having some sort of devil possess her or something. There was one thing I was thinking about since the last time we played. And that is that I was not, I don't want to say shocked, but I wasn't, I don't think I was prepared to have the game kill off so many characters. So in like one large batch. I was just thinking about this the other night. I guess, what was it, Friday night I last played? So like over Saturday and Sunday course of those. Because especially because how this game is so long, like by the time this game brought up like sacrifices and everything, I was like, okay, there's potential there's going to be characters that die. Makes sense for a mystery of this sort. But then, like, I hate to keep bringing up, but like I was so used to like a Danganronpa game where like each chapter like one person dies and then like another person dies because of the result of the trial or whatever. So I wasn't like, I thought it was going to be a slower burn, but then I was shocked that they were like, fuck, a third of the cast dead, doesn't matter. Do that whole like wipe your hands of these characters' lives. Be over with it. Alright, I'm gonna try very hard not to sniffle too much, but it's gonna be hard. So you're gonna have to forgive me. It was either sniffle a bunch because I'm sick, or no Umineko. Your pick. Your pick. Alright, let me see exactly what the last text was. Cover my eyes with my hands and trust to my mind and body as I start getting sucked in. Some weird people wearing goat masks start doing the bomb. Oh yeah, I remember that line. Okay, yeah. Formerly been interrupted. Inhabitants of the day. Alright, I think I'm ready. Whoa, wait, hey. Whoa, hey. Accidentally scroll wheeled too far. Alright, as I started losing heart, I began to recall a memory from when I was small. It was from when I was very young. I'd unfortunately seen a scary occult movie on TV, and for a while, I hadn't even been able to go to the bathroom by myself. That old bastard gave an exaggerated laugh and said this.
Na, Batora.
Hey, Battler.
どうして悪魔だのオカルトだのってのをわざわざこうして映画にすると思う?
Why do you think they go to all the trouble to make movies like this about demons and the occult and such?
ねえからだよ。
It's because
そんな滑稽なもんは地球のどこにもねえのさ。
it's because they don't exist.
ねえからわざわざ見たくて作るんだよ。
It's something that ridiculous can't be found anywhere on the planet.
だから俺はオカルト映画なんてちゃんちゃらおかしくて笑っちまうってんだ。
Because they don't exist, people want to see them and go to a lot of effort making them. That's why those occult movies just make me laugh.
俺に言わせりゃ悪魔やら妖怪やらより今年度の収支報告や機嫌を悪くした女房の方が1億倍も怖えってもんだぜ。
If I were forced to choose, I'd say, rather than demons and monsters, this year's earnings call and angry wives are 100 million times scarier.
さらに言うぜ。
I'll go
俺に言わせりゃな。
I'll go further, okay?
怖がるってのは
From my point of
心
view,
と生活にゆとりのある連中の娯楽的感情なのさ。
I'm blaming the sickness. My sense of cutting off the characters is out of whack. I'll go further, okay? From my point of view, getting scared is a recreational emotion, something for people who've got room to relax both in their hearts and their lifestyles. I'd assume since these parts aren't getting voiced, I assume it's not like a mistake and it doesn't have Rudolph's name like on here. I assume this is like interweaving between Battler remembering the conversation like in his head, and then after reading it, we're kind of getting that self-narration from Battler, if that makes sense. Versus then, like, imagine like a movie where then it flips back to the remembrance that Battler has, and it actually is Rudolph speaking. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Or maybe it is just a slight oversight and I'm thinking too much.
暇で暇でしょうがないから。連中は変わった感情で心を遊ばせたくて、悪魔だの、オカルトだのって文化を作り出したんだよ。
They had so much free time, they didn't know what to do with it. So in order to entertain their mind with unusual emotions, people started creating a culture with demons and the occult and stuff. Seriously, why have I been acting so damn thick-headed? I was totally taken in. Don't try to wet. Why did that opening of this track sound like something from like Tokyo Drift? Oh, but it is new. Let me just sit on this for a sec. Let it build. As I get some water. We got a little drum beat coming in. Oh, this is good. I'm telling you, the times we get like these unique, like one-offy sounding tracks, like they really stand out. Okay, don't try to mess with me. This is the human world. I don't give a damn about witches, demons, magic circles, and sacrifices. The human who killed Dad and everyone else is still on this island. That's all there is to it, right? The next person who started speaking to my heart was Kairi-san.
チェスや将棋ってね、
You see, in both chess and shogi,
終盤の終盤、詰めの最後の段階に入れば入るほど最善手は限られてくるのよ。
when you reach the very, very last stage of the game and get closer and closer to cornering your opponent, the number of optimal moves you could possibly make gets smaller and smaller.
だから自分が追い詰めている、
Therefore, if you're backing someone against the wall,
あるいは追い詰められているというその時、
or if someone's doing the same to you,
両者の手は限りなく読みやすくなるのよ。
sorry to lower that, both players' moves become infinitely easier to read.
つまり完全に追い詰められて打つ手なしって思ったその時こそ最も読みやすい瞬間なのよ。
In other words, when you're completely cornered and you think you have no moves left, that is the moment when it's easiest to read your opponent.
でも守勢に立った人間はどうしても考えが固くなって相手の手を読むことにまで考えが至らない。
However, when a person is forced into a defensive position, they can't help but lose their ability to think clearly. so they aren't able to get their minds around their opponent's moves.
そういう時はね、
That's when you
チェス盤をひっくり返すの。
spin the chessboard around. With all my strength, I slap my face with both hands. Should I do it? I didn't want to hit myself too hard. Also, I don't know if that came across on the mic anyway. With all my strength, oh, I already read that. Now my eyes were truly open. When you don't understand anything and you're completely cornered, just like I am now, isn't that the perfect time to spin the chessboard around? While on the defensive, we can't even guess at the culprit's scheme. If we spin it around and look at it that way, just what might we see? First off, at the time the culprit committed the murders, they knew the island was being cut off by the typhoon. Therefore, they should have understood that even if they carried out the murders, they wouldn't be able to get away early the next morning. In short, the culprit had begun without securing a way to escape. Unless the killer has some very supernatural powers, and maybe they just flew away. Of all my actual theories I've said so far in the series, that is the one that maybe should be taken the least seriously. I do not think the murderer has the supernatural ability to fly away from the island. Don't put that on the record. And if you put it on the record already, if you're taking notes at home, strike it away. White it out. Furthermore, that bastard tossed the corpses in the storehouse. Then was even kind enough to say, here they are, with that weird bit of graffiti. In other words, since we'd probably find the corpses sooner or later, they wanted to show them to us. If we'd all been dim and hadn't noticed the storage shed, the culprit's goal would not have been achieved, wouldn't it? Would it? Heh, if you think about it this way, that bastard of a culprit. Since this morning, they must have been watching our every move with bated breath. After all, if we hadn't been so kind as to discover what was on the storehouse, all that hard work and preparation they did last night would have just gone poof. What did the culprit want to make us feel by showing us the corpses in the storehouse? All 6 of the bodies had their faces notably destroyed. Was it a grudge? A warning? The defacement of the bodies had occurred after death, so it hadn't been the means by which the culprit had killed. It didn't mean anything to those who had been killed. It did have meaning to those who found the bodies. The culprit wanted to make it appear that they had been killed so brutally. Ha! After thinking this way, I really want to tell that bastard to stop taking me so lightly. Who just danced that tune? If you're told, please be scared, you can't just say, really, sure thing. When someone tells the great Ishinomiya battler, the entrance is right here, I'm the kind of guy who starts... Man, I'm so delirious. Okay, let me retry this. Reading that again. Okay. Deep breath. When someone tells the great Ishinomiya battler, the entrance is right here, I'm the kind of guy who will start wanting to sneak in through the window! Exclamation point. The next thing that had me concerned was the so-called magic circle on the shutter. As Maria, who had shown that her knowledge of the occult rivaled grandfathers, had recognized that magic circle was genuine. They must have drawn that thing in pitch black darkness, taking a lot of time and holding an umbrella in one hand. Isn't that amount of hard work and perfectionism impressive? What purpose would have been worth all that effort? If we were looking for a fan of the occult in this mansion, most likely all of us would naturally suspect Grandfather. Did they want to make us think Grandfather was involved? But if that's all they wanted, they could have just drawn any old scribble that looked like a magic circle. It wasn't like any of us amateurs would be able to tell the difference between genuine and fake. However, this magic circle was genuine, and furthermore, it had even been written in Hebrew. So this magic circle had a message that could only be understood by someone with knowledge of the occult. A message is a form of communication. By sending it, they were hoping for a reaction. A reaction? For some reason, we couldn't find Grandfather now. I don't know how Grandfather might have spotted the magic circle on the shutter, but did he choose to hide himself in reaction to that? No. It was a trap to make us suspect that grandfather had participated. You could read it either way. Damn, that's annoying. What kind of reaction was the culprit hoping to get out of us by putting us on this occult show? Somehow, that felt like the culprit's weak point. The letter from Beatrice that Maria had read aloud during last night's dinner sprang back into my mind. This was a freak who'd asked us to enjoy a battle of wits. Isn't that interesting? This is a battle of wits between us and the witch. Will we be sucked up by our cult game first? Or will we pull off her fake skin first? There's a whole day until the typhoon passes. Why not enjoy ourselves? Why not? You know, we just got some dead bodies. Why not enjoy? Or I guess he's implying like, oh, you know, figuring out this mystery is a way to enjoy ourselves, to pass the time on this bloody day. Okay, I finally noticed that the inside of the parlor had gone quiet again. Everyone had sunk into their favorite sofas, some deep in thought, some irritated, some acting depressed. Maria was once again enjoying the TV as if she'd never left it. It looked like she found the commercials more fun than the boring program, and she happily yelled, "Ooh, ooh," and giggled. I stared at each person's appearance in turn. If there isn't a 19th person, the culprit must be in this room. Yeah, see, this just goes back to my theory. Like, I would lock myself in a room. I would not be hanging with these people. I don't trust anyone. Right now, right, I said that weird. Right now, Aunt Natsui is searching the mansion with the servants, right? Then we shouldn't say in this room. In this mansion is where the culprit has to be. After all, it's possible Aunt Natsui was behind this. And we still can't deny that one of the servants might be the killer. Anyone could be guilty. Still, Aunt Natsui and the rest sure are taking their time. Of course, it's not a small mansion, but isn't this taking a little too long just to walk around, checking the windows and doors? Just as I was thinking this, Aunt Natsui and the rest returned. No, not one of them was missing. But our relief was short-lived. Everyone looked at Aunt Natsui in shock. The talk I'd had with Aunt Eva started to creep back into my mind. The possibility that the culprits had enough in numbers or weapons to kill all of those 6 at once.
驚かせてしまいましたね。
Forgive me if I've startled you.
万が一に備えて持ってきたものです。
Wait, she has a gun? I see the image of a gun creeping. She is packing heat. It is like a shotgun. Oh my goodness. Forgive me if I've startled you. I brought this to be prepared for the worst. Jesus. I didn't think we'd get like this. After all, that thing in Aunt Natsui's hand was a rifle. No, I don't know guns. I just assumed shotgun by the way she was holding it. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything. One thing I'm not is a gun expert. At a glance, its silhouette looked a lot like a hunting gun, but it was unusually short and kind of looked like a kid-sized weapon. However, it had a weightiness to it that made it clear it was no kid's toy. That gun is Kinzo-san's, isn't it?
ご存知でしたか?
Did you know about it?
そうです。
That's right.
お父様の古いコレクションの中にあったことを思い出し、探し出してきました。
I remembered it was in Father's old collection, and I managed to find it. Whoa. Awesome.
夏日おばさん、それ本物なんすか?
Natsui-san, is that thing real?
ええ、本物です。
Yes, it's real.
実弾を発砲できますよ。
It can fire live ammunition.
昔お父様は野鳥を追い払うのに使ったりしていました。
Long ago, Father used it to scare away wild birds.
あら懐かしい。
Ah, that takes me back.
どこから出てきたんやら?
Where did you find that thing?
私がいくら触らせてって言っても
指一本触れさせてくれなかったやつよ。
No matter how much I asked him to let me touch it, he never let me lay even one finger on it. Okay, I'm gonna reiterate this fact. If I was one of these people in this mansion now, in this room even, with Natsui, and she's holding a gun like that, and we just had like a really high pressure, high tensity, like multiple people were killed and we don't know who killed them, and I don't know if she's the killer, I don't know if she's not the killer, but like a stressful thing just took place and we don't know where everyone's like head is at, I would be nervous as hell. I would not be sitting here shooting the shit with her. I would be afraid. I'd be like, hey, let's go put that thing away and, I don't know, do literally anything else than hold a gun right now. And maybe that says a lot about me. Maybe I just don't trust people in, like, once, like, tensions rise, I don't trust just anyone really holding a gun in the room with me when I don't know if they think I was maybe the killer or if she's just gonna take out everyone that she can. You know what I mean? Let's solve the issue with our brains, not guns. That sounded really dumb when I said that, but I was committed to saying it. But as it was leaving my mouth, I was like, that's a dumb thing to say. But it's how I feel, right? No matter how much I asked him to let me touch it, he never let me lay even one finger on it. Oh. Grandfather had one of these? I didn't know that.
お父様は昔西部劇にどっぷり使ってたことがあってね。
Long ago, grandfather was really addicted to cowboy films.
あの世代はこういうライフル銃が大好きなのよ。
That generation really liked this kind of rifle.
結構年季の入った銃のようですね。
Is that a Winchester?
でもこんな短い仕様のは初めて見ました。
But I've never seen one that short before.
ああ
Ah,
思い出したわその銃
I remember. It's that gun.
懐かしいな昔好きやった映画のガンマンが派手にぶっ放しとったやつだわ
That really takes me back. That's the one Steve McQueen fired off in Wanted Alive or Dead.
お父さんも渋いな
Father sure has good taste.
親方様がだいぶ昔に
It is an item the master
アメ
ordered.
リカより特別にお取り寄せになられたものです。
It is an item the master ordered specifically from America long ago.
ご覧の通り実銃ですので、どうかこの件はご内密にお願いいたします。
As you can see, it is a working gun, so please don't tell anyone about this.
手に入れられたばかりの頃は大層気に入られておりまして。
He was quite fond of it right after he managed to acquire it.
撃つより薬莢を出す動作が面白いらしくて、裏の森でいろいろとかっこつけて遊んでおられたもんですよ。
It seems the workings that ejected the cartridges were more interesting to him than shooting it. He played around with it back in the forest all the time. Still, it's rather disturbing.
そんなものまで持ち出しちゃうのかしら。
Are you sure you should be dragging this out?
万が一に備えてです。
This is to prepare for the worst.
賊はおそらく一人ではないでしょう。
There is probably more than one offender involved.
しかも主人たちを6人も殺した恐ろしい相手です。
Furthermore, those horrible people killed 6 of us, including my husband.
私には主人に代わって皆さんを明日まで守る義務がありますので。
I have a responsibility to protect everyone until tomorrow, in my husband's place. As Natsui-san said this, she slumped down into one of the sofas and took a deep breath. She had been trying to find grandfather, as well as check the doors and windows. Since grandfather wasn't with her, she probably still didn't know where he was.
屋敷内の戸締まりは厳重に確認してきました。
I carefully checked all the doors and windows throughout the mansion.
ですが万が一ということもあります。
However, we must be prepared for anything.
みんななるべくここに一緒にいた方がいいでしょう。
Everyone, I think it would be best if we all remained here.
そうね。
Oh, good point.
ここに全員が集まって相互監視をしている方が安心だわ。
If everyone's gathered here, then we can all feel more secure by keeping an eye on each other.
それはどういう意味ですか、エヴァさん。
What do you mean by that, Eva-san?
別に
Nothing really.
夏日姉さんの意見に賛成しただけよ。
I'm just agreeing with your opinion, aren't I? There was a stormy atmosphere between the two of them. If you think about who was the most suspicious from the inheritance problem standpoint, Aunt Eva was the obvious answer. However, there was no proof that Aunt Natsui was innocent. No, if you view Beatrice's letter as one of Grandfather's complicated pranks and thinks of this crime as just an extension of that, there's more than enough reason to suspect even Grandfather. Also, Aunt Natsui thought the criminal was on the outside. But Aunt Eva thought the criminal was on the inside. Wait, okay. Natsui thought the criminal was on the outside. Okay. In short, it was a question of whether or not a 19th person exists. That same question has been repeated endlessly since last night's dinner, with a letter from that witch who called herself Beatrice. So was a culprit among us? Or not? And did the witch Beatrice exist? Or not? If you assume that something as stupid as a witch can't exist, you're basically saying that one of these relatives here, who share a common bloodline, is the culprit. If that was too unpleasant, it would be much more comfortable to simply accept the fairy tale-like witch of the character of the witch. A witch? A witch drawing a bizarre magic circle and offering human sacrifices? If I could accept that rubbish, I'd be able to trust all the people in this room. However, damn common sense got in the way. It kept repeating that witches don't exist. In that case, the culprit must be among us. In the middle of the seemingly endless rain, none of us could break the silence. Glass shatter. 1 o'clock. We continue. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. That joke only makes sense if you watch the Valkyria Chronicles series. Man, I'm referencing a joke from Valkyria Chronicles in here. My streams should be treated just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, in that you need to watch every single episode and every stream and every series to get the deep lore. I choked as I was trying to drink water there. I don't know if you heard that on the mic. It was probably disgusting sounding. Fluids. Okay. Lunch ended, and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. The wind and rain neither weakened nor strengthened, and the island remained cut off from the outside world. At first, it seemed as though Natsui planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room, but when it came time to prepare lunch, she finally realized that this would be impossible. Also, dude, I'm so sick feeling. I don't even know if I said this at when I started the record on this Umineko part of the stream. So I'll just double up and say it. I know this is a reading heavy game, and you're just having to listen to my voice. I'm sorry if my voice sounds sickly and annoying and obnoxious. Maybe if you set it to 2 times speed, maybe it'll sound better. Or, if that doesn't work, set it to 0.5 speed, and maybe that'll sound better. Just a thought. At first, it seemed as though Natsui planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room, but when it came time to prepare lunch, she finally realized this would be impossible. However, in order to avoid having anyone alone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of that, the servants were the first ones given the right to leave the stuffy parlor, which had been packed with 11 people. Since breakfast had immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating much, everyone tore into their lunches in silence.
私が洗いますから、源氏さんとカノン君は少し休んでいてくださいな。
I will wash the dishes, so you can rest a while, Kanon-kun, Genji-san.
何か飲みます？
Do you want something to drink?
私は結
I don't need anything.
構。カノンは
Canon?
僕も結構です。
I don't need anything either.
お二人とも早朝から大変だったでしょう。
You two must have been so busy and so early in the morning.
参ってしまうのも仕方ないことですよ。
It's no wonder you're worn out. The only noise was that of Kumasawa washing the dishes, which resounded throughout the kitchen. Genji and Canon sat in some chairs a short distance away, their eyes lightly closed. Just as Kumasawa had said, those two had probably built up a great deal of fatigue. But that didn't mean they could let it show in front of their relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. After the silence had continued for some time, Canon opened his mouth and muttered,
シャナ、
Shannon,
どうしてあんなひどい死に方を。
why did she have to die in such a horrible way?
死に方のことは忘れなさい。
Forget about the manner of her death.
ただ運がなかっただけだ。
It was nothing more than bad luck.
そうですね。
You're right.
ただ運がなかっただけです。
It was nothing more than bad luck. They both fell silent once again. Cannon's expression was filled with grief.
シャノンちゃんが死んじゃったなんて。
To think that Shannon-chan's actually dead.
未だに信じられませんよ。
I still can't believe it.
本当にかわいそうに。
Poor thing.
もう会えないなんて嘘みたいですよ。
Not being able to not being able to see her again feels like a lie.
もう一度あの子の笑顔が見たかったのに。
I just wanted to see her smiling face one more time. Kumasawa spoke with her back facing them. After all, Kumasawa hadn't seen Shannon's corpse, so she had no trouble mentioning Shannon's face. When Cannon heard those words, it reminded him again of how only half of Shannon's face had been left, and his grieving expression twisted even further.
どうしてベアトリーチェ様はシャナンを。
Why did Beatrice-sama do that to Shannon?
生贄が欲しかったなら他にも大勢いただろうに。
If she wanted to sacrifice, there were plenty of others to choose from.
どうしてどうして。
Why? Why?
ただ運が悪かっただけだ。
It was nothing more than bad luck.
少しの運がたがえばシャノンの代わりにあそこに横たわっていたのは
If we were
私だったのかもしれないしお前だったのかもしれない。
if we were less lucky, you or I might have been lying out there instead of Shannon.
あるいは他の誰かだったのかもしれない。
Or it could have been someone else entirely.
すべては運命だ。
Everything is left to fate.
源氏様、
Genji-sama,
奥様の部屋の扉に血のような跡がついていたとおっしゃっていましたね。
you said the door to Madam's room was stained with traces of something like blood, right?
シャッターに書かれていたのと同じもので。
The same substance that was painted on the shutter? Indeed.
気味の悪い跡だった。
It was an unsettling mark.
まるで血のついた指でドアノブを引き抜こうとするかのような。
Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had been trying to pull out the doorknob.
部屋扉をかき破ろうとしたのか。
No, scratched through the door.
そんな気味の悪い跡だった。
That sort of unpleasant mark.
ベアトリーチェ様が奥様の部屋を訪れて。
So does this mean Beatrice-sama came to visit Madam's room?
そして扉を開こうとしたけれど
And tried to open the door?
開けなかった。
But couldn't? Genji thought back to the time he had seen those traces of blood on the door to Natsui's room. with the substance sticking to the door around the doorknob and the marks of something scratching against the door. It had definitely appeared as though someone had tried to open the door but couldn't.
どうして
How
奥様は生贄を免れたんだ。
did the Madam avoid being chosen as a sacrifice?
もし奥様が選ばれてたなら。
If only she'd been chosen. This is... I don't think I've ever actually voiced this thing that I've noticed. But this game has a very... It doesn't use it frequently. And it might just be a stylistic choice during certain, like, stressed moments in the actual dialogue or the writing. But, like, when the game chooses to, like right there with what Canon said, it, like, the text quickly scrolled out. And then sometimes the text will, like, just pop in, if that makes sense. Obviously, there's the sometimes where it's been, like, bolded text and stuff. That might just be a stylistic choice, but it is one of those things where I can't help but, like, think, like, anytime I do see those or notice it, I try to see exactly what's being said, and if there's, like, maybe I'm really overthinking it, but if there's, like, some secret in that text or something, just putting that out there. Just so that you, the viewer, knows that I may be unnecessarily reading too much into just how text is displayed. I'll repeat reading this, though. How did the Madam avoid being chosen as a sacrifice? If only she'd been chosen.
シャノンは
Shannon wouldn't...
シャノンは死ななくて済んだのに。
Shannon wouldn't have had to die. Just then, a loud, sharp noise came in from the hall. Both of them turned around, surprised.
面白そうな話じゃねえか。
That's a pretty interesting chat you're having there.
俺も混ぜてくれよ。
Let me join in too. Before any of the servants realized it, Battler was standing in the doorway to the kitchen.
バトル様、
Battler-sama,
これは失礼いたしました。
how rude of us. Genji-san and Kanon-kun stood up, surprised, and hastily bowed. But I didn't care about stuff like that. I was more concerned with continuing their discussion.
便所って言って抜けさせてもらったのさ。
I told them I was going to the bathroom, so they let me go.
ずっとあの部屋に閉じ込められてると窒息しちまいそうだったからな。
I just straight up lied to them. I thought I'd suffocate if I was locked up in that room any longer.
水でも飲ませてもらおうかと思ったら面白そうな話が聞こえてきたんでよ。
I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but then I overheard something pretty interesting.
頭なんか下げなくていいぜ。
You don't need to bow your heads or anything.
今の話の続きを聞かせてくれよ。
Please, let me hear the rest.
今のは別に。
That just now wasn't really...
ちょいと前から話は聞かせてもらってるんだ。
I've been listening to you for a while.
今さら隠すなよ。
Don't try to hide it now.
だから単刀直入に聞くさ。
So, I'll ask directly.
ベアトリーチェってのは何者だ？
Who is this Beatrice?
どうやらおとぎ話の魔女ってだけじゃなさそうだな。
She's supposed to be a witch from a kid's story, but it doesn't look that way now. Kennekin averted his gaze. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this, which only made me want to ask even more. While making an effort to smile, I grabbed the collar of his shirt.
夕べまでなら俺は無関係さ。
Last night? This would have been none of my business.
だがな、今朝からは違う。
Is he threatening Cannon? He's like, you better open your mouth. But after this morning, everything's changed.
親父たちを殺された時点で、俺は立派な関係者だ。
Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business.
俺にも、そのうさんくさそうな話を聞かせてもらう資格があるはずだぜ。
I have the right to listen to this suspicious story, don't I? I glared into Cannon's eyes as he continued to avert his gaze in apparent pain. Since there was a big difference in our heights, Cannon had to stand on his toes and it looked like I hurt a bit.
バトラさん、
Battler-san,
手を離してやってくださいな。
Please let go of the little child.
別にカノンさんは隠しているわけではないのです。
Canon-san isn't really hiding anything.
じゃあ話してくれたっていいじゃねえか。
Then you won't have any problem talking about it, right?
仲間外れたら寂しいぜ。
It's lonely being out of the loop, you know. When I tried to further twist up his collar, Genji-san cut between us and spoke. In his expression were faint traces that he had made up his mind to do something. Apparently, he had no intention of hiding it.
お話しすることはできます。
I can tell you about it.
ただバトラ様がお気を悪くなされるかもしれませんのでカノンは躊躇しているのです。
Canon only hesitated because you might have taken it badly, Battler-sama.
躊躇なんて男らしくねえぜ。
Hesitating, huh? Not very manly of you.
内緒にされる方が気持ち悪いさ。
Whatever it is you're talking about, it's even more unpleasant having it kept a secret.
聞かせてくれよ。
Tell me about it.
どうせ明日までできることはないんだ。
It's not like we have anything better to do before tomorrow comes.
多少はうさんくさい話の方が退屈も紛れるってもんだぜ。
A slightly spooky story might be the best way to avoid getting bored. Genji-san and Canon-kun looked at each other, then nodded as though they'd decided to talk.
わかりました。
Understood.
何でもお聞きください。
Please ask us anything.
お話しします。
We will talk.
ああ。
Right.
じゃあ聞くぜ。
Then I'll ask.
ベアトリーチェってのは一体何なんだ？
Who in the world is Beatrice?
俺が知ってる限りでは、露見島の森に住まう魔女ってことになってる。
All I know is that she's a witch who lives in the forest of Rokenjima.
森に入ると危ないからってんで、ばあ様あたりが作り出した脅し話だって聞いてる。
I've heard it's a story grandmother or someone invented to keep people out of the dangerous forest.
違うのか？
Is that wrong?
いえ、違いません。
No, it isn't wrong.
その通りです。
It's as you say.
ベアトリーチェ様は六軒島の森に住まわれる魔女であらせられます。
Beatrice is a witch who dwells in the forest of Rokenjima.
バトラ様、
Battler-sama,
にわかには信じられないでしょう
I don't expect you to believe this all of a sudden,
が、ベアトリーチェ様は存在するのです。
but Beatrice-sama exists.
親方様に莫大な黄金を授け、長いことおそばにお仕えした実在する方なのです。
She's a real person, the one who gave the master a vast amount of gold and who worked by his side for many years.
は
Huh?
あ？よせやいよせやい。
Oh, come on.
じい様の受け売りを言うのも給料のうちだってのか？
Is grandfather paying you to repeat everything he says? I laughed like it was a joke, but neither Genji-san nor Canon-kun laughed. Not even Kumasawa Bachan, who was avoiding my eyes, flustered as she started washing the dishes. So, unfortunately, I was the only one laughing. That's fucking awkward. Painfully. Bitterly.
なるほど。源氏さんが断るだけはあるぜ。
I see. That's why Genji-san refused to mention it.
こいつは確かに正気じゃ気を悪くする。
If you really mean it, of course I'll take it badly.
つまり、ベアトリーチェっていう名の人物は実在するんだな。
So, you're saying that a person named Beatrice actually exists?
はい、
Yes.
親方様がこの島にお屋敷を構える以前からずっとお仕えしている方でございます。
She has been working for the master since before the mansion was built on this island.
おそらく私よりも長くお仕えしているでしょ
She has most likely been working for him even longer than I have.
なんてこった。桐江さんの仮説は外れたな。
Let me read that line again. Let me see. Since the mansion was built. Okay. What do you know? Kairi-san's theory was off.
じい様に、ベアトリーチェという名の腹心は実在したってわけだ。
Grandfather really did have a confidant called Beatrice.
そいつは今、この島にいるんだな。
Is that person on the island now?
はい、
Yes.
いらっしゃっていると思います。
I believe that she is here.
曖昧な言い方だな。
That's a vague way to say
っ
it.
てことは昨日今日そいつの顔を見たってわけじゃなさそうだな。
I guess that means you haven't seen her face today or yesterday.
はい、
That is correct.
大変申し上げがたいのですが、
It is extremely difficult to say, but
その
Kenny-kun once again dropped his gaze, avoiding my eyes.
なんだよ、そこで切るなよ。
Come on, don't just stop there.
寸止めみたいで気持ち悪いぜ。
That's like freezing an inch before the blow, right? I urged him on jokingly again. However, it looked like Kanon was still confused as to whether he should speak or not. Then, Kumasawa Bachan whispered.
お顔を見ようにも
You cannot see her face,
ベアトリーチェ様にはお姿がありませんから。
because Beatrice-sama has no form. Oh, she's a ghost. An ethereal being. A mist creature. She's a shadow. I don't know, just
お
guessing.
姿が
She has no...
なんだって。
What did you say?
ベアトリーチェ様にはお体がありません。
Beatrice-sama has no body.
ですからベアトリーチェ様がお望みにならない限り
Therefore,
私ども凡庸ではお姿を見ることすら叶いません。
unless Beatrice-sama wishes it, common people like us are not able to see her form.
ベアトリーチェ様が人の姿をされていた頃の絵があの肖像画のものなのだとか。
Okay, so this is verging on like she's like a ghost territory, and then I just like totally pictured like Ghost Adventures. What's that guy's name? Zach Baggins or whatever? Like Battler being that character where he's like trying to like antagonize a ghost, and he's just going through the mansion. He's like, "Come on out, you fucking ghost!" And he's just like screaming into the void, and then everyone else is just having to listen to Battler as he like goes up and down the halls, just trying to like antagonize a ghost so that it appears before him. He's just like, "Come on out! Come on!" I don't know enough about Zach Baggins. I used to. All right, way back. I don't know much about Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins and his friends or whatever. But I think over the course of that show, like back when I think that show first started, and I think my sister was watching a ton of it, I would like see it occasionally. And I thought like they were actually taking it somewhat vaguely seriously as like a thing, like, oh, we're actually... And then I think more people started tuning in because it was kind of like clown behavior, like it was very foolish, right? And so I think much like a scripted like sitcom, I think they ratcheted up just how dumb it was and like played into being like the obnoxious characters that they were in trying to find ghosts in some haunted houses and stuff. And I just imagine Battler being like that. Like whatever the final evolution of Zach Baggins was. I really hope that's where this game goes. It's just him trying to find a ghost. Could you imagine 100 more hours of of Battler just being weird? I'd be down. Alright, Kumasawa says, I have heard that the portrait shows what Beatrice-sama looked like back when she had a human form.
そのお姿を懐かしみ、よく肖像画の前に佇まれているそうな。
It seems he yearned for that figure so much he would often stand in front of that portrait.
ベアトリーチェ様は時折、輝く蝶の姿に身を変えられて現れることがあります。
Beatrice-sama sometimes shows herself by changing her form into glittering butterflies.
万一、お屋敷の中でお見かけした場合には、決してその後を追ってはならない決まりです。
On the rare occasion that you spot them somewhere in the mansion, there's a rule that you absolutely mustn't chase after them.
追えば不幸があると囁かれています。
It is whispered that you will meet with disaster if you do.
その禁を破り大怪我をして辞めた使用人も実際にいます。
In fact, there was a servant who broke that rule and quit because of a great injury.
おいおい、マジかよ。
Wait a sec, are you kidding me?
あんたら、本気でそんな話をしているのかよ。
Are you all serious about this?
バトラ様、すでにベアトリーチェ様がお越しになっておられます。
Battler-sama, Beatrice-sama has already arrived.
そのようなお言葉は
Such
よろしくないかと思われます。
such language may be unwise.
ベアトリーチェ様はご自身を冒涜される方を好みません。
Beatrice-sama does not like it when she is profaned.
その存在を疑えば必ずや不幸が降りかかるでしょう。
If you doubt her existence, you will surely meet with disaster.
バトラさん、気持ちの悪いお話とお思いでしょ。
Battler-san, you probably find this topic unpleasant.
ですがね、
But you know what?
ベアトリーチェ様はいるんですよ。
Beatrice-sama does exist.
言います。
She exists.
それを疑われることを。
Beatrice-sama
ベア
hate
トリーチェ様はことのほか嫌われます。
Beatrice-sama hates people who doubt that.
わかりませんか、バトラ様。
Can't you tell, Battler-sama?
ベアトリーチェ様は今すでに
Beatrice-sama has already
ここに
arrived
お越しになっており
here.
ます。
Beatrice-sama has already arrived here.
おいおい、よせよ。
Come on, quit it.
俺、そういうのは弱いんだぜ。
I'm weak against that stuff.
脅しっこなしにしろい。
Let me see something. Are the people who died people that outwardly spoke out about Beatrice or didn't believe in her? I'm not confident enough to say that. The only thing I was thinking was like Kyrie was like, oh, it must have been another person on the island and there can't be a Beatrice maybe. But I don't remember exactly. I mean, I'm sure like at least a couple of these people like laughed when Maria talked about Beatrice and brought her up. But I don't think Shannon did. Oh well. That was just a theory I was starting to formulate and have now dropped. Come on, quit it. I'm weak against that stuff. Enough with the cheap threats. However, there was no trace of a joke in the eyes of the three servants. On the surface, I laughed and tried to look unconcerned, but I was quickly starting to sober up. Their eyes were also sobering up fast.
バトラさん、お願いですから、ベアトリーチェ様を冒涜することはおやめください。
Battler-san, I beg that you stop profaning Beatrice-sama.
悪いことは申し上げません。
Please, trust me. Kumasawa Bachan, who was usually cheerful and would always tease people, now spoke with a totally serious face.
いや、
Oh, well.
いるって言われてもよ。
Even if you say she exists,
俺には何も見えないぜ。
I don't see anything.
今、俺の隣にいるとでも言うのかよ。
Are you trying to say she's standing right next to me or something?
冗談よせやい。
Quit joking around. What the fuck? Okay, this is really weird because I was literally just about to say, hey, I think I brought this up earlier, but hey, why didn't any of the characters recognize just how weird Maria was being just like a couple hours ago? Like, that just came and went, and like none of the characters were like, hey, Maria, what's going on? And now this happened right before I was about to say that. All right. Feel good. All right, that was a dumb joke. Just then, that unnerving laugh suddenly filled the kitchen. What the fuck? When I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance. Someone just kill Maria. Honestly, I'm not for like killing children. But there's been enough evidence where these adults and semi-adults need to, like, just do something about her. Just do something. When I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance. But her expression and the feeling about her, her presence, felt exactly the same as the servant's. Whether your wavelength matches or not is determined at birth. Battler, you were born with a mismatched wavelength. That's why you can't see her. That's why you can't meet with her. And that's why you can't talk to her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most. You know what I like the most? That awakened just a bad memory. Maria laughed like it was funny, but it sounded extremely eerie. I'm not going to elaborate. It was almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand. Do you want to know about Beatrice? Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch. With all the demons at her command, she can harness the power of alchemy to create the Philosopher's Stone and a vast quantity of gold. Grandfather built up all the vast wealth of the Ishiromiya family by making a contract with her. Yesterday, I read Beatrice's letter, didn't I? That was real. Well, I guess it's pointless for me to try and force you to believe. After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense. What are you talking about? Witches? Demons? Gargoyles? Dark-sided? Who told you about that? I heard it from Beatrice herself. Laugh. I'm too sick to keep doing that, Maria. Stop it. Maria kept doing that unpleasant laugh. However, the servants who watched over this didn't even blink. She heard it from that witch in the portrait adorning the entrance hall. Maria kept on laughing in a weird voice as though this was nothing more or less than the truth. Maria, it might be rude to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay? Who gave you that letter yesterday? I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand? You don't get it, do you? You can't see it. You can't believe it, can you? A cackling laugh. Just then, Maria's laughter suddenly stopped. Battler. You still don't understand? Beatrice-sama exists. She exists, you say. But where? Like I said, Beatrice-sama exists here. That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling for a while now that the servants' eyes haven't been pointing in quite the right direction. I'd figured they were just staring absent-mindedly, but that wasn't the case. Oh no, can they all see her? Oh no. Oh god. Oh god, it's a ghost story. Okay, the 4 here. Genji-san. Kanekun. Kumasawa-san. Oh no, the clock's ticking, it's coming back. And Maria. Everyone except me was looking at a spot right behind me. Holding my breath tightly, I slowly looked over my shoulder. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I've known that the whole time. However, everyone in the room except me was focusing on that point as if there was someone there.
ベアトリーチェは1000年を生きた偉大な黄金の魔女。
Beatrice is the mighty golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years.
でも波長の合う人間にしか自分の姿を見せられないし、話しかけられない。
But since she can't show her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them.
だからね。
And you know what?
それがとても悲しいんだよ。
That's really sad.
だからバトラみたいな生まれつき魔法のセンスもかけらのない人に存在を否定されるのがものすごく嫌いなんだよ。
It means she truly despises it when people like you, who are born without a fragment of the ability needed to sense magic, deny that she exists.
バトラは幸運だよ。
You're lucky, Battler.
昨日私にお守りをもらっていてよかったね。
Good thing I gave you that charm yesterday, right?
それを身につけていなかったら今頃ベアトリーチェのどんな呪いが身に及んでいたか分かったものじゃない。
Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you by now if you hadn't been carrying it around?
本当に幸運なんだよ、バトラは。
You really are lucky, Battler. Oh, that scorpion keychain.
あれって安っぽい景品か何かだと思ってたんだが、ちとはご利益あったってことなのか?
I thought that was just some cheap gift or something, but are you saying it really had some power? Laugh.
それがなかったら今頃バトラがあの倉庫の中で顔面を砕かれて生贄にされていたんだよ。
If it weren't for that, you'd be lying in that storehouse as a sacrifice with your face crushed by now.
幸運だったよ、バトラは。
You're so lucky, Battler. Laugh. I can't keep doing it. I can't do it, Maria. I see.
あれがなかったら、俺は今頃殺されてたってのか。
So if it weren't for that, I'd have been killed by now.
なんでバトラはベアトリーチェを信じないの？
Battler, why don't you believe in Beatrice?
いるのに。
Even though she exists.
今そこにほら。
Right now, over there, look.
信じる気になったでしょ？
Hey, I'll bet you want to believe it now.
信じなよ。
Believe it.
マリアにお守りをもらったことを感謝しながら。
And thank me for giving you that charm.
あれがなければバトラは今頃倉庫の中。
If it weren't for that, you'd be in the storehouse right now.
代わりに誰か一人が助かっていたかもしれないね。
But then, maybe you would have saved someone else in exchange, right? Laugh. Poof. Right then, I burst into laughter. Playing witches had been pretty fun up until a second ago, but unfortunately, the last one seemed to be too much for me to gloss over. Then it's all useless, isn't it, Maria? If that's true, then I'm sorry, but it's all useless. When Maria saw me suddenly start laughing, she stopped. Even though she didn't understand what I was laughing at, she realized it wouldn't be pleasant for her. I thought it might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but... Well, I thought I'd put that charm you gave me in my pocket. But I must have dropped it somewhere.
だから俺が今この瞬間に無事なのはお守りのおかげでもねえし。
So the
なら
charm...
魔女様の呪いがあって当然なのに、今この瞬間もピンピンしてる。
So the charm can't be the only reason I'm alive now. And even though I should have been cursed by the witch, I'm perfectly fine.
悪いが俺は自分の目で見たものしか信じね
Sorry, but I don't believe in things I don't see with my own eyes.
え。第六か
Sixth senses,
波長
wavelengths,
魔法のセンス
magic sensitivity, gargoyles.
悪いが俺はそういう眉唾なもんは一切信じねえぜ。
Sorry, but I don't believe in fake stuff like that.
クラスの女が霊感がいいの悪いのって言い出すのを聞いてると虫唾が走るのさ。
When I hear the girls in class start talking about how good or bad their ability to sense the supernatural is, pisses me off.
あんたらがいくらじい様に給料もらってるか知らねえが、俺を妙な宗教に勧誘しようったって。
I don't know how much grandfather's paying you, but if you're trying to talk me into joining some cult,
そう簡単にはいかねえってことをよく肝に銘じておきやがれってんだ。
believe me, you won't be able to do it that easily.
バトラ様。
Battle-sama.
カノン君たちが信じるのは自由だぜ。
You guys are free to believe whatever you want.
だが、俺が信じるかどうかは
However, when it comes to the things I believe,
常に
the one
俺が
who decides
自分で決める。
is always me.
悪いがこの目で見るまでベアトリーチェなんてうさんくさいものの存在を信じるわけにはいかないぜ。
Where's the text? There it is. Sorry, but I can't believe in something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen her with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply. Then, Maria started cackling again.
ならそれでいいんじゃない？
Well, that's just fine, isn't it?
いずれお前のような波長が全然合わない人の目にもベアトリーチェは見えるようになる。
Eventually, even people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths will be able to see Beatrice.
もうじき蘇るんだよ。
Very soon, she will revive.
ベアトリーチェはね。
Beatrice will revive.
そうしたら一緒にいっぱいお話をしたり遊んだりしようって約束してるんだよ。
Once that happens, she's promised to talk with me and play with me a lot.
疑う必要も無理に信じる必要も全くない。
There will be absolutely no need for you to doubt or for us to force you to believe.
現れるんだよ。もうじきね。
She will appear very soon. Take Marie off my screen. No more. No more. No more. No more. Alright, that seems like a good stopping point. I can't go too much. I probably should just head to bed in the next few minutes, so hopefully I don't stay sick for much longer. Hopefully it's more fluids and a night's rest does me a lot of good. Hopefully a normal week of streams. But I will say, if I'm feeling like shit continuing into tomorrow, I may just take a night off. But we'll see. TBD, as they say. I would like to play quite a bit of Disco Elysium this week. So I would expect quite a bit of heavy Disco Elysium stuff. As I said, the Hex, I could probably see trying to put more in on Friday or Saturday later this week. We did some Naruto, I think yesterday, right? Yeah, Saturday night. So probably none of that this week. It'll probably just be this and Disco Elysium, with probably more of a focus on Disco Elysium. So don't be surprised if I do get to stream tomorrow. I'm feeling okay. Don't be surprised if you especially see like Disco Elysium, maybe again like Monday, Tuesday, maybe this on Wednesday. Loose tentative schedule: Disco Elysium Monday, Tuesday, this on Wednesday, maybe the Hex and something on Friday, something like that. We'll see. But yeah, if I'm feeling sick, maybe it's probably best I'm not playing a game where I just have to constantly be reading as well. But we'll see. As I've been saying, in about a week and a half's time, there'll be like basically a week of no actual live streams. So if you're like, oh, let me tune into Austin and see what he gets into in Disco Elysium, or read along with him the next Umineko parts or whatever, I'll be gone for like a week. So hopefully, in theory, I'll have built up enough streams where the streams will still continue to come out on YouTube and release published on future dates, so that like on that side, archive side, the VOD side, you don't really notice a difference. But there won't be any live streams, so at some point you're going to be seeing archived videos go out, but I'm going to be states away. So I won't be able to, I probably won't even, I mean, it's not like it really matters, but I'm going to try. I'm probably going to fail, but I'm going to try pretty hard when I'm on vacation for that week seeing family to not be on the internet that much. So even if you're like commenting on videos during that time, I'm usually really on top of those just because I like people chatting in general, and I like responding to people, as corny as it sounds. But like, I might not be able to do that while I'm while I'm away, or I'm gonna try to resist. Though, like I said, I'm probably gonna fail. So we'll see. Cross your fingers I'm not sick tomorrow, if you're so inclined. Like I said, most likely Disco Elysium Monday and Tuesday though, so we can put more time into that. And I think that's about all I have to say. I hope you're enjoying this. I'll listen to the recording after I hit end stream here. But hopefully my voice wasn't too obnoxious for this past hour. This is Sunday night, so have yourself a great week here. Get through it. Stay strong. Persevere. Do all that. And I'll hopefully see you tomorrow night. But if not, then just know that I tried. Until next stream.